Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. It's round 2, race 2 at the last great Coliseum at Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol Raceway for 250 laps. This is going to be a duel to see who's going to survive here tonight. Last week, it was madness to see who was going to get the win, and it actually came to a non-playoff driver after a late race caution that put over half the field trapped. One lap down, Joseph Causey winning that race. Causey could not show up here to try to steal another race away, but looking at the practice times, they're a little screwed up for us to see who truly is one of the fastest drivers out here. But we're gonna have to wait for practice. My name is Sam Dyer, and with me is Wesley Outland. Wesley, Bristol Raceway. I know for you, 3 words can really capture this racetrack for yourself.
Hey, it's Bristol, baby. I mean, bottom line, and this track will offer a lot of excitement, even if we're not even expecting it. Any moment, this half-mile facility nestled in Bristol, Tennessee, tonight for iRacing. It's the next round of the playoffs. Only fitting to have Bristol be in the playoffs for the L-TAC Cup Series. And I enjoyed working with you in the booth on LSRTV last Friday night at the Rockingham Speedway. We go from a mile track to a half mile, and this facility should be a good one here tonight. It's high banked. You're going to see some pushing. You're going to see some shoving, some gouging. It's racing. It's Bristol. It's going to be that way here tonight. The question is, what driver will be able to continue to go towards a quest of an L-TAC Cup Series championship?
Yeah, this round is so interesting, starting out with 2 short tracks. Like you said, we had Rockingham last week, tonight Bristol. Then we go back to the cookie cutter mile and a half of going to Las Vegas and Homestead to finish out round 2, where we have our top 10 drivers left in the playoffs. It's all about consistency here in the playoffs. There is no win and you're in to the next round for the L-TAC Cup Series. So all the drivers that are in the playoffs right now, they need to make sure they stay consistent. Our last person we got to introduce, that's Carlos Acosta, producing and giving us our best overlays you could ask for here on LSR TV. Huge thank Carlos to all of the pictures we're going to be seeing here tonight. Wesley, looking at the playoff picture, though, from last week, we got to see Holden McGill taking the points lead once again with Merrick Watchorn. Kind of disappointed with how dominant that 91 car was last week. Could not win. Was one of those drivers trapped a lap down after that late caution in the middle of a green flag pit stop. And looking at the bubble position, 6th place is that bubble spot. And that's where we find that of Jeremy Berger, the Burger King car, the driver that actually trapped everyone a lap down, but snuck away with a 6th place finish last week that has him 6th in points starting here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch these guys and see how things go. And there goes the Burger King car right there, coming at you. Have it your way here at Bristol as well. He was flaming coming off down the bottom of the corners there, squilling tires. But, yeah, I mean, you see the guys in green. You know those are your drivers that are in the playoffs. But, you know, you got to be careful. You can't be squilling tires and spinning like pit lane like Burger is right there just a moment ago. And, by the way, speaking of the pit assignments, speaking of the pit entry, pit exit, and the restart zones, there's a lot of rules that have been implemented, maybe just for this race tonight at Bristol, Samuel.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing that right before the drivers go green, the procedure. It wasn't enabled last week at Rockingham because there were some glitches going on. But for tonight, the drivers will pull into pit road, find their pit box here tonight. So no one has that confusion of accidentally missing their pit box under green flag pit stops, hopefully during stage 3. So we will be looking at that procedure and where the entry and exit points are, and more of the penalties that could ensue for these drivers. As we're actually going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, qualifying will be underway, and we cannot wait to see how race 2 of round 2 for the L-TAC Cup Series playoff action here tonight at Bristol. We'll be back in just a minute.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. and select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. Go check out Tucson Sound Art like you saw there during the commercial at www.tucsonsoundart.com to get yourself a Bluetooth speaker in your artwork. But qualifying halfway through, currently it's going to be that of Holden McGill, top of the board as drivers racing around this course, and we're seeing some pretty quick times, not as fast as some of the wall riding times that we're seeing during practice, but still Holden McGill, our points leader coming into this race. No surprise, Wesley, that he is on top of the board currently.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on him and see what he can do. McGill, of course, coming off of a lot of momentum there from recently, but yeah, I mean, like we talked about, this is still Bristol. This is going to be an interesting race, a long way to go. You got to have patience here. I mean, one of the things we talked about, the three stages of this race, 265 lap stages, and then a 120 lap event. And I really believe you're going to push everything to the end. I'm not saying that we're not going to have a interesting opening two stages of the race, but the way that the stage racing has made it out to be, obviously, Samuel, is you ride and you drive, you work on your car, you find the setup, you find the line, you do what you need to do. And it is not nightfall sets in and we go into that third and final stage when it's 120 laps. All bets are off, and then it's going to be interesting to see who will be in victory lane for the 2A 250.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely interesting on how these drivers are going to be attacking this course, because this is going to be one of the few times this season where during stage 1 and 2, the drivers do not have to pit for fuel. And now the drivers, their mindset has to be on tires. If there's any late cautions or middle to break off the middle of these stages, you might want to think about coming in to pit stops just for tires, because this field is looking pretty small. We have the potential of 19 drivers racing here tonight, but looking like we might have just 18 based on who can sign up, get back into this race. But Wesley, I mean, with the factor of just worrying about tires and how small this field is, you might think about, even if you're up front, taking some fresher tires if you got a big enough advantage between those tires, between one another.
Yeah, if you're brave enough and you think you can get it, go after it, I say. But again, I think it's all about saving those tires, as you mentioned. I think, you're going to be given a certain amount. McGill right now at the top of the board. We figured that the 21 car, I mean, it's only fitting 4 of the cars that are in the playoffs are right there, and almost in the top 10 for that matter. All the cars that are in the postseason fighting for the championship are cars with the green that are there. I'm kind of confused here. Why are they all green? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
All those cars are playoff drivers? Every single one of them are?
Oh, I think some of them might be accidental playoff drivers. A couple of them are drivers that are actually outside of our points
somebody
battle.
got some dang free passes here.
Yeah, as some of the drivers that might be showing that they have green on them, but actually aren't in the playoffs anymore. That's Kevin Frakes, Robert Patton, Gale, Barrick Uphold, Frank Flores, Brett Fisher, and those are the drivers that are not in the playoffs anymore. It's only our 10 drivers that are in, and those 10 drivers that are in the playoffs still, that's Holden McGill, our points leader, with Merrick Watchorn, Logan Hamilton, Joseph, otherwise known as JJ, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, with that of Jeremy Berger, that of Grant Peterson, Sean Deal, Stefan Purcell, as well as Colin Stone. Those are your 10 drivers that are still in the playoffs. But it looks like qualifying is now done. Drivers are getting gridded up, ready to go. Now, these drivers are going to have a little bit of a procedure where they're going to come into pit road, get themselves settled. As here's your starting grid. We'll go, looks like we got only 18 drivers, so we'll go 9-9, starting off on the pole position. Holden McGill with Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to be in the top side of row 1. Row 2 going to be that of Grant Peterson, and as well as that of Merrick Watchorn in that top side of row 2. Row 3 going to be that of Ryan Dingler with Joseph in 6th position, Logan Hamilton in 7th, with Sean Deal in 8th place. And in 9, we're going to find that of Frank Flores. Over to you, Wesley.
Moving on to the outside of row number 5, Robert Pattengale in the Stewart Haas Racing number 33. He'll be 10th. Inside row number 6, we'll find Barrick Uphold from Texas in the 92. To the outside from the west, it is Colin Stone in the number 43. Moving on to row number 7 on the grid, we're going to find the driver, of course, and that's going to be Jeremy Berger, the Burger King machine from the 97. To the outside, Stefan Purcell in car number 57 from California. Moving on to row number 8, Richard Springer, the 6 from California. Kevin Franks is in the 98 machine, starting 16th. Moving on to the final side-by-side row of row number 9 is going to find the drivers of course, Brian Huntley Jr. for Wolfpack in the 19. Indiana, Ryder Schroff in the 58 machine. And on the back of the pack, shotgun on the field, Tommy Gossett, the Mid-South driver, car number 54. And there is your starting lineup for round 24 of the L-TAC Cup Series. This is playoff race number 6. After tonight, we are down to 5 races, 4 before we decide the champion in race number 5. And the championship should be exciting. We're down to these final races going on. And that last championship race will be 3 races long, is what I was just told in my earpiece from Carlos Acosta. A 3-race series to decide the champion. Can't beat it. I like this format, Samuel, because it's not just, you win the race, you win the championship. You got to fight. You got to survive. You got to advance. You got to show your muster, if you will, throughout this playoff run. It's not just one race and you win a championship title. This is really fun. It's exciting to be a part of Friday nights on LSRTV. And this is Bristol. This is short track racing at its finest. We're looking at a hell of a show here tonight at the Last Great Coliseum.
Yeah, this playoffs has been a blast to watch. We started off with 16 drivers. We dwindled it down to 10 for the second round. That championship round, we will only have 6 drivers that will be challenging one another for that championship belt. But we're going to be seeing the drivers, like we said, driving in. They're going to be single filed, going into pit road, trying to find their pit stop. And Wesley, this is one of the unique things is some leagues allow you to have pit and come in on either side of this here at Bristol, but you have to enter off the exit of turn 2 and exit. When you enter pit road through exit 2, you have to drive all the way around this course and exit out of turn 1.
Yeah, that's going to be widely enforced, by the way, as we are watching some of these drivers working their way around the racetrack. You see them staying down below the blend line, and they are being told through the pace car at speed as well, 35 miles an hour. This is your pit road speed. This is where you exit off turn 4 to that blend line, the yellow line. Blend line to blend line. There is the entrance cone right there off of turn number 2. You see where you just saw them a moment ago, enter. So bottom line, caution flag runs or green flag cycle of pit stops. You have to pit off of turn number 2. You have to cycle your entire way below the blue line where the Geico and the Xfinity logos and everything are, back to your pit stall. 35 miles an hour. If you break that pit road entrance, you suffer a black flag penalty, Samuel. We have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where for these drivers, with how long they have to drive around, it could be putting them anywhere from 3 to 5 laps down, or even more than that, on how well you enter or exit out of pit road. So if you ever come into pit road, make a pit stop, and a caution comes out under green flag pitting, it could be demoralizing for a whole team, and you could ruin your shot of winning a race.
I'm wondering why it's saying there's 2 laps of 250. We're still on preliminary laps. I'm sure that will reset. The green flag flies. It will reset. Your pace truck is about to come in. It's Bristol, baby, Samuel Dyer. We're getting ready for a good one here tonight as they get the one to go at the line this time by.
Everyone's trying to make sure they have all their black flags clear from making that move of coming down and the procedure of seeing where their time is, where their pit stop box is. So the drivers have to get stacked up once again, and got to give credit to that of Nolan Rempel, who is the race control for tonight's race.
Hey,
He's trying to make sure everyone's good.
And Samuel, they do this just like NASCAR does. Every NASCAR event, you see these guys come down the pit lane. You see them come down, practice their pit road speed, where their pit stalls are. You see that on many occasions, especially not all the time, but mainly sometimes whenever you know that they're going to have a competition caution, they allow that to happen. So we're ready. I think everybody's cleared. Pace truck's in. Here we go, Samuel.
Green flag in the air. It's going to be Holden McGill automatically taking himself with a 3-4 car gap as they're coming through turn number 2, side by side, second on back.
Bristol underway, 250 laps, and ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. McGill leads them 2 car lengths back to Butcher Benjamin, Watchhorn, Joseph Peterson. They're all there, opening laps off of turn number 2.
These drivers spent a lot of time under practice trying to get used to side-by-side racing. So if they were caught up in these situations, side-by-side, lap over lap, they knew how to react between one another. And currently, we're seeing a great job. Holden McGill, loving the fact that second place is still being challenged as Butcher Benjamin able to finally clear that of Watchhorn, and everyone's starting to single file out. This course, a lot of drivers like to run that middle to high groove. It's the most comfortable spot for these drivers, which makes it hard to make passes. You're going to have to be very aggressive if you want to make any moves against anyone. As we're watching the battle currently for 4th place, it's JJ Peterson. They are battling it with the 20 and the 52.
There you see the stage info down on the bottom. Stage 1, 65 laps. Stage 2, 65 laps as well. That will get you up to lap number 130. And then it is a 120 lap green flag run to lap 250 in the 2A 250 here for round 24 of the L-TAC Cup Series. McGill leads the way. He's got a trunk full, as we just saw Peterson and Hamilton all going at it for position. Yeah, a lot of great racing going on here. McGill still out in front, and they're still, again, right in the middle of stage 1. Impressed with McGill riding the top of the racetrack in the early going.
Yeah, McGill's finding that comfort zone, but he's got to be careful. Watchhorn, Merrick Watchhorn is racing aggressive. He feels like last week at Rockingham, that race was stolen from him. He was so fast that he thought that he was just going to pull away, dominate that race, but with a late caution, it threw away his chances of winning. As also we're seeing some of the great racing action for 4th place, but for the lead, side-by-side caution though, in the back half of the field. It's Strauss, Springer, and also that of Kevin Franks caught up in this one.
A multi-car accident early going on the back straightaway. Samuel Dyer, first yellow at Bristol. You give us a recap.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to almost get to 10 laps into this thing, and the biggest action was between that of Springer, just getting out of control with that of Strauss, hard contact, and poor Kevin Franks, he was running so far back, just caught up into this thing. You're going to see him come in and nowhere to go for that of the 58.
Carlos, can you mute our mics real quick?
Back driver actually had to come to a stop to let the pace car catch up to the field as we're seeing the replay once again. This is what's bringing out our first caution here tonight, is that of Strauss, Franks, and Springer all collected in this one. And for these drivers coming into pit road, getting some service done for themselves, going to be Stefan Purcell coming in, as well as that of Strauss, Franks, and it looks like Springer just coming in trying to get as many repairs done. These drivers do have one fast repair here, Wesley. So even if they get the blown engine, they're not out of this race just yet.
Remember, they have to come down to the pit lane off of the entrance of turn number 2. They have to stay below the blend line. That's the pit entrance and exit. They have to stay at 35 miles an hour. Ironically, a lot of drivers pitting in the early going, and I find that very strange, as we did see some cars take the opportunity to come to the pit lane. Here's something else that we didn't even talk about in regards to green flag pit stops, much less under caution. If you have a penalty, Samuel Dyer, you have a risk of going several laps down. At least if you pitted in a green flag run, you are at least looking at a 1 lap down, going at least a lap down, not counting if you get a penalty. If you get penalized or you have a mistake, 2-3 laps down or more, unless it's some miracle and you are in the free pass car, every caution flag, you can kiss your race goodbye if that happens to you in the pits.
Even if you have a drive-through penalty, you're going to be finding yourself going even more than 1 lap down. If you get held, you're going, 1 lap around here is 15 seconds. Once you get more wear on the tires, 16 and a half seconds. So, and it takes you anywhere from 40 to 45 seconds to go through your pit stop, come in, get service done, and get out of there, which that means you're going at least 3 laps down, if not more than that. So these drivers want to make sure if they're ever coming down to pit road under green, that they are getting service done and crossing their fingers that they're the last driver to come in. As we have gotten the 1 to green, it's Holden McGill, Merrick Watchorn, Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, JJ, Joseph with that of Grant Peterson, as well as that's going to be your top 5. Logan Hamilton, Ryan Dingler, John Deal, Jeremy Berger, and Bear Cuphold, your top 10 as they're entering turn number 3.
Stone, Flores, Pattengale, Huntley, Purcell, Frank, Strofe, Springer, and Gossett. After the conclusion of the first caution flag, the full field rundown after the first yellow in the TA 250. Pace truck drops onto the pit lane. They're back in the Zombie Auto Parts restart zone, and green flag goes back in the air at Bristol.
Much better start for that American Watchhorn, but it's going to be Taylor Butcher Benjamin just clogging up that inside line, losing ground, losing positions. The 1 goes from 3rd back to 5th and just turns 1 and 2. As JJ going to be moving up to 3rd place, but Holden McGill, Merrick Watchhorn, these 2 guys have been duking it out all season long. They're going to continue on that battle for the lead as we're seeing the pack 3rd on back. They're still right on top of one another.
Yeah, McGill leading this battle, but right there behind Watchhorn, there's a battle for the lead now as Watchhorn's closing in on McGill. But behind those 2 cars, Joseph, Hamilton, Butcher Benjamin, Peterson. But the battle for the lead continues as we go side by side. Battle for the lead on the upper right, the battle for 3rd through 5th on the bottom.
Yeah, Merrick Watchhorn, he's trying to figure out how to get to the inside, and also seeing ducking to the inside, doing his best, moving up to 3rd place. Logan Hamilton gets by JJ, and for Watchhorn, he's going to have to be aggressive here. Really get right on the back bumper of the 21 of Holden McGill and try to do a dirt track move, do a slide job move, get as low as you can, and hope that you clear the driver when you slide back up in the middle of the corner. But it is going to be a tall task, as the drivers love that middle to outside groove where you get just these massive runs down the front stretch and back stretch. It's going to be difficult for these guys, but you see on the right side, the battle for the lead. Watchhorn, he's trying to build up for this pass.
McGill, Watchhorn is there. He's down to the inside. He's ready to close in on the bottom as they work their way off 4. Back to the stripe. Keep it side by side. Battle, lead, turn 2. McGill, Watchhorn, that continues on. Hamilton says you guys got to battle side by side. I'm going to try to reel you in like bait on a hook, but not yet. Off of 4. Back to the stripe. We're under 20 laps in here at Bristol.
Yeah, just watching, I think for Logan Hamilton, this is the best option for the 12. Just sit and linger. Let those other drivers use up their tire wear early on. We're 21 laps into this race. These drivers, these laps are going to click away quick. Again, stage 1 comes to a close at lap 65 for these drivers. So for these guys, these bonus points important. The top 10 drivers get bonus points, and there's the pass for the lead. Slide job move. Here comes the crossover down the front stretch.
Side by side. And on the inside, one more time, back to turn 1. They'll keep it nestled door to door off of that 2nd turn. Watchhorn up the outside. McGill now to the bottom. Watchhorn is up on the top shelf now. He'll go to make the better line work on the outside. He'll start to pull away. New leader as we approach lap 25. It's Watchhorn in 91.
Oh, clean crossover move, and once he got to the outside, that's exactly what he needed going on the entry of turn 3 2 laps ago. Merrick Watchhorn back to the point where he felt comfortable last week. and he hopes to stay here. Bonus points, so massive. If you can win at stage 1 and 2, and you have a bad finish at this race, it's practically like you won with how low of a car count that we have here. Only 18 drivers racing here tonight, so even if you have a slight hiccup, as long as you have some good stage 1 and stage 2 bonus points, you're all right with wherever you finish after this race.
Can I just say, Samuel, what we just saw Watchorn do to McGill, it doesn't get any more cleaner than that. Merrick Watchorn passed him cleanly, got around him side by side for multiple laps. He found the run that he needed. He finally pushed McGill to the bottom, or McGill went to the bottom. And when that happened, Merrick Watchorn took it away and immediately has pulled away, opened it up almost a second over McGill. Hamilton, Joseph, Butcher, Benjamin, Peterson, Dinger, all in this battle of going on inside the top 10. That's the best battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful, that pass was, and it was a patient setup pass. I mean, he was showing, hey, I got the speed. This doesn't feel comfortable. I'm back out, reset. I'm going to take a couple of more laps, then attack it once again as this battle for 4th place, it just continues to swap back and forth. But it's going to be Joseph. He's got to be careful for this 20, who continues to seem to linger back slightly. But Taylor Butcher Benjamin, he's starting to fall back into the clutches of the 52 and the 8.
Bristol going on right now, the L-TAC Cup Series. Working now over lap 30. Watchorn, McGill, Hamilton, Joseph, Butcher, Benjamin, your top 5. Joseph now falling to 5th. Butcher, Benjamin going up to 4th, and that battle continues nestling off turn 4.
I mean, it's really that of Joseph. If he gets himself a little bit too sideways, get too close to the outside wall off the exit 2, that's where we've been seeing the 20 losing its time and ground. But a great launch for everyone that's on the outside that last time by. And now we're starting to see Butcher Benjamin. When you don't see the drivers on the outside make mistakes, that inside line is where you lose ground, as the 1 goes from a shot of being up in the top 4 to now back to outside of the top 5 in 7th place.
Watchorn. Well, look at that. He disappeared. The 1, Butcher Benjamin, there he goes. We got to keep an eye on that. That might be a little bit of net code. Ink and blink and nod on the 1 car as he closes in behind Dingler. And Dingler now getting up on Peterson. Peterson getting up on the machine to Joseph. Inside, Joseph opens the door, outside lane, and here they all come parading through to the top shelf.
Logan Hamilton just brushed in the wall a couple of laps ago, losing him time, which dropped him back to this pack in the clutches of the 20 of Joseph. Joseph on the inside, getting the pace, getting the run, but still just that outside gets too massive, the momentum that gets carried off the exit. But when you lose ground, you get too close to that outside wall, some drivers back out of the throttle, and that gives opportunities for the guys inside. You're letting Joseph up to 3rd, pulling away, kind of like what we saw Watchorn do against McGill, finding that clean air, and they are gone.
Watchorn, McGill, Joseph, Peterson, Hamilton. Now Hamilton will switch Peterson around. They flip-flop those spots again for 4th and 5th. Great racing.
Yeah,
Still
absolutely
continues.
Incredible. And as we're watching this great racing, our leader just had to split the gap between lap cars. Watchorn has caught the rear end of this field, splitting that of Purcell and of Franks. Luckily survived for the 91. This is when the lap traffic can become dangerous for our lead lap cars as we continue to watch this amazing battle that's going on for 4th as Deal gets into the wall, clogging up the back end of this track.
You're seeing, though, what we talked about, Samuel. These drivers are respecting each other. If this was the 3rd and final stage, there would be no give and take. There would be cars spinning right now. But there is a lot of patience by these guys right now as we're just 40 laps in and 25 away in stage number 1.
Yeah, and we're starting to see drivers that were feeling comfortable, lingering back, letting those other drivers use up their tire wear, just like that of Brian Huntley Jr. right now in 10th place. Started back in 17th, didn't qualify. The furthest up of the drivers that didn't qualify is Uphold's got to be careful getting close to Deal, as well as that of Colin Stone. But drivers picking and choosing now. They're going to be pushing their way forward. But this 19, he's on the inside, furthest back of the field, but he certainly is looking quick in 9th place.
Cars going a lap down also include Springer, Purcell, Franks, Pattengell, the next on the list for the leader, Watchburn. And while that goes on with Watchburn trying to move around lap traffic, there's also the lead lap cars finding their way and trying to run back down the leader as we speak. There's the leader, Watchorn. McGill is there, successfully getting around lap traffic as we work lap 45. 20 to go in stage 1 at Bristol.
Yeah, we are coming to 20 to go in this stage, and that's going to be feeling comfortable for Watchorn because with how quick the laps are ticking away, he should not be catching up to this massive group that we've been seeing from 5th back to 12th position. Those drivers, they are still side by side battling along as we're watching now. Holden McGill, second place running. And with some of this lap traffic that's going on, it's giving a chance for the 21 to catch up to our leader. The gap was once over 1.2 seconds. It's now diminished down to less than a half a second, now less than 4/10. McGill, he is making a late charge here in the end stages of stage 1.
Into turn number 3. Watching this battle, this is the interval now. Watchorn and McGill. McGill sliding his way, trying up into turn 1. He's in that Chevrolet, trying to close in. He'll peek back down to the bottom. He's going to run on him. And here's something interesting as this as well is going on for the lead, Samuel, as we're approaching lap 50. Watchorn and McGill, while also getting around lap traffic, has pulled away from 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and so on. Remember that battle we talked about? Wow. And here you go, having lap traffic as a pick.
Oh, more
as
contact.
McGill in contact with Pattengill, the lap car up in the way. McGill and Watchorn fighting for the lead and trying to get around lap cars to boot.
And Ryder Strauf on the inside actually clogged up that of Holden McGill from trying to use that pick. And all of that possible chance of using the 33 is a chance to make the pass for McGill. It went away, but they're still racing nose to tail as we are coming closer and closer to 10 laps left here in stage number 1. 65 is the end of stage 1 for these drivers, but they are just putting on a show, a dazzling show, our front 2 are. But yeah, on the note that you were talking about, for front 2, they're about 3.5 seconds ahead of that of Joseph, who's in 3rd place, and he's been slowly, methodically getting by lap traffic, but that large group I was noting on from about 5th place, that's kind of diminished. Those drivers are now starting to space out from one another as Logan Hamilton, he's battling currently. This is the battle for 8th position. This used to be the battle for 4th, but Logan Hamilton is dropping back. So is the 52 of Grant.
Believe it or not, we're 10 laps to go in stage 1. This race coming by fairly quickly. Only one caution flag in the start of things. That could have been yellow flag calamity a moment ago when we saw those leaders, and they're going to go 3 wide again through more lap traffic as they were fighting Pattengill and Jeremy Berger, the Burger King car, going a lap down. Colin Stone next on the hit list for the leaders of Watchorn McGill. 10 to go in stage 1 at Bristol.
The drivers, lap traffic, just trying their best to make sure they are out of the way of our lead lap cars, understanding, hey, we are slow. A lot of these drivers actually that were caught up in that first incident, only it looks like that of probably Kevin Franks that used a fast repair for himself. Otherwise, most of the field kind of just stayed out and didn't put themselves in a spot to lose too much ground. As here's the pass for the lead here, Wesley. It's now a charge to see for Watchorn McGill. These are our 2 favorites to win the championship, and they are putting on a dazzling show late in stage 1.
Under 10 remaining now, and their battle continues with Watchorn and McGill in stage 1. Final 7 laps to go before the caution, the break, and the whole cavalry, I promise, will be coming down to the pit lane. Watchorn McGill, he is reeling him in. He's down to the inside. Lap car of Thorne there as well. That's going to be the lap car of Springer. No, correction, that's Stone. Lap car of Stone gets out of harm's way. Says, have at it, boys. He will not be denied. And like that, Watchorn to pull away. 5 to go in stage 1.
Just continues to try to, it's a chess match. Once you get up to lap traffic, can you force the driver in front of you to get used as a pick with lap cars, or can you find the space to possibly force the driver behind you? As it's 5 laps to go here in stage number 1. Merrick Watchorn, Holden McGill, Joseph, Ryan Dingler, and Taylor Butcher, Benjamin, your top 5. And they're looking pretty solid in the top 5. Again, it's the top 10 that get bonus points. And Colin Stone, he's got to 2/10 back from getting himself inside of the top 10. He needs these bonus points. He's 10th in the points coming into this race, 20 points out from that bubble spot of 6th position. He needs the points badly for this 43.
Yeah, my apologies there, Samuel, a moment ago. That was Purcell that went 2 laps down. Now Colin Stone will go a lap down to the leaders of Watchorn and McGill as they work their way back out of turn number 2, back straightaway into the 3rd turn. Coming up on 2 to go here in stage 1, and they're battling side by side like it was the last lap here at Bristol in turn 1.
Pit road is now closed for these drivers, so if you wanted to pit early, your shot of that is now gone, which we weren't expecting any drivers to make their pit stop as they're coming out of turn number 4. White flag in the air for stage 1. It's Merrick Watchorn, Holden McGill. Do you even want to threat trying to make a gutsy move here for McGill, or is he just going to be calm coming into 3?
He'll hold on to that line in the back straightaway into that 3rd turn. Watch Hill holding off McGill. He gets a little high, opens the door to McGill as they exit 4.
It's Watchorn just by a nose and gets stage 1, but we have to wait for all 10 of our top 10 across the line. So still racing hard, but it's going to be that of Brian. That's going to be Hunley as well as
he
crosses the line now. Yellow waves.
Once the number 10 car of Huntley crosses the line, just like in NASCAR for Cup Truck and Xfinity, whenever they cross the scoring loop, the top 10 at the end of the stage, the caution flag is displayed. And now we'll re-rack them and restack them. And I promise you, there will be a bevy of activity on the pit lane here in just a moment. But there is the number 91 Twiggy Chevrolet stage 1 winner here at Bristol for the TA 250, Merrick Watchorn. But he had to fight for it over McGill on that last couple of laps there, Samuel Dyer.
Yeah, Holden McGill looking extremely quick on the start in this quick runs, and then once the track started to develop the run and developing into the longer runs, that's when we saw Holden McGill really start to step up. But it's Merrick Watchorn, Holden McGill, Joseph, Ryan Dingler, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Barrett Uphold, Sean Zeal, Grant Peterson, as well as that of Logan Hamilton and Brian Huntley Jr. going to be your top 10 getting those bonus points. And for the drivers that are outside, that of Colin Stone, Jeremy Berger, not getting these points is massive, as well as that of Purcell running in 18th place. Purcell can't have a bad run for himself. He's 9th in points currently. Sean Deal watching out for these guys as you see the front end damage of the 91. That's from when he made contact with a 33 of Patton Gale trying to get by lap traffic. The question is, will we see the 91 think about coming into pit road to use a fast repair or just manually repair it?
And is everybody coming out of the pit lane for service? We are working lap 69 at the end of stage 1. Stage 2 when we return. Quick break from Bristol. L-TAC Cup Series playoffs on LSRTV.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, right? Our Ram trucks, truck of the year, amazing trucks. We have fun Jeeps, and then the exciting Dodge and Chrysler products. Lots of performance there, lots of excitement there. They've done a great job in really creating a full scope product line that could suit everybody's needs. Whether it's a family vehicle or a fun vehicle or a utility type vehicle or a big truck, we've got it all for our customers.
L-TAC Cup Series, and this has been amazing. Only one caution on track of incidents, a total of our second caution here with the conclusion of stage 1, where that of Merrick Watchorn was able to win stage 1. But we saw before we went to commercial break there, Wesley, Merrick Watchorn had nose damage. He had to stay in, get that repaired, losing him 6 positions back to 7th place.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on it here. And as I said, you know, we saw a stretch in the race for stage 1, Samuel, where they were sticking it 3 wide. Lap cars were in the way. They're fighting for the lead. And that battle inside the top 10 that we saw between Peterson and Dinger and Butcher, Benjamin, and all those guys was classic. I think as we moved into, again, if this would have been third final stage to the finish, there would have been some calamity. There would have been some yellow flags. Only one caution flag besides the caution at the end of stage 1 that we're getting ready to bundle everybody up for the restart for. This has been a good race. It's been an exciting race. And for that much, it's surprising at Bristol. and even for iRacing, Samuel, it has been a clean race, but I don't know how long that will be for long as we get ready to go to green in stage 2.
Yeah, we haven't even got 100 laps in, but it's been pretty clean to this point. Green flag in the air.
Trouble!
Oh, well,
Uphold up
jinxed
against
it.
the inside retaining wall. He got turned on the restart right in front of the pack. Might have been some tire spin. Uphold's car maybe shortened about 1.5 feet from the contact where he bounced off the concrete, and the caution will come out for the 3rd time.
Actually, it's looking like it was actually the 52, Grant Peterson. He's going to be the one getting a little bit of contact here. And drivers just getting too antsy for themselves. Wheel spinning goes to the 52 and just gone on the throttle a little bit too aggressive there, costing him time and putting us right back into their yellow. Wesley, we might have jinxed it.
Yeah, it's Grant Peterson. My apologies. I saw a 2 going across the screen, and it was not the 92 of Barrick Uphold. It was Grant Peterson in 52. And again, he got the short end of the stick and into the concrete there, big damaged on the car. You can see where it's all dented and crumpled up pretty good. We're going to look at a replay one more time. As honestly, I can't really see if he was spinning the tires, if they got bunched up. Watch that car right there. I think he spun the tires, and then he had nowhere to go. And there you see, man, nowhere for Watchorn to go except into the left rear or into the right rear of his car, and around went the 52.
Yeah, and for Watchorn, he just got that nose repaired. So, of course, you get your nose repaired, you're feeling good, and contact once again goes to the 91's front bumper. So, for these guys, they're going to, some of them thinking about coming in, topping off, getting some more repairs done. Springer, Joseph, Strauff, all coming in, as well as the 52 Peterson, who's going to be getting himself some repairs done after bringing out this most recent caution. And most, we're expecting most of the field not to come in and get service done for those that have not hit the wall or had any incidences. But the field looking good. Again, don't have to worry about their fuel. It's more of tire conservation for stage 1 and 2 for these drivers. Wesley, the conclusion of the Cup Series is coming closer and closer every week, but another series is about to pop up, the L-TAC Truck Series. This series is going to be coming out September 22nd to December 15th. If you want a shot to race in the Cup Series, you first have to go through the Truck Series. Go on to iRacing and private message that of Nolan J. Rempel on iRacing, and Nolan would love to get a message from you. Get involved with the Truck Series so you can be racing with these guys on the L-TAC Cup Series. And it's been a blast to watch these guys. We came in at the end of the regular season, but it has been amazing racing week after week. And truck racing, that just makes these drivers, it's a little bit easier to run than the Cups or the Xfinities, but still awesome racing each and every week.
Yeah, by the way, don't forget, you can also go to the L-TAC iRacing League, L-TAC iRacing League on Facebook, and you can give them a like as well to keep up with everything that's going on as too, just like this. And I like this truck series that's coming around now. It's a driver development program. To make it into the Cup level, now you got to go through the kind of like the ARCA ranks, ARCA to Cup. You know, a lot of people consider it that way, ARCA to Cup. Well, now you have to do the same thing here with the trucks to the Cup. L-TAC, Nolan Rempel's got a great league going on here, man. I wish it was on another night besides Friday, because I'd love to commit to this thing full-time more often. Carlos Acosta, enjoy working with him. He never spills the beans. Always does a great job in the broadcast booth, and everything's going good tonight. And Charles, we promise you, no mimmies, but that doesn't mean me and Samuel aren't going to have fun tonight as well.
Oh, no, we're going to have a blast here tonight for sure. We still got plenty of racing to see for these guys.
Is it mims or memes? How do you say it? Mimes or mims? What is it?
Memes? It's
no
memes.
I call it memes. We're back to green here in Bristol.
As Holden McGill able to get going, it's going to be Ryan Dingler, Barrick Uphold. These are drivers we really haven't been seeing challenging for the lead. And these guys, they're going to have hope that they can survive. Huntley Jr. going to be a little bit of contact. These guys battling for third place. They're sliding, they're wiggling. Got to be careful.
3 wide, sideways, turning into the wall. And there goes the 92. He's wrecked this time. That's going to be Uphold. Uphold's involved. Joseph is caught up in it as well. And it looks like as the dust clears or the smoke clears, it is the number 12 of Hamilton also with Calamity. Cautions breed cautions, and there you see it again in stage 2.
I mean, this is one of those things where drivers that we are usually not used to seeing up front, they get put in situations that maybe they're not used to, having the pressure of drivers behind them. and wrecks conclude. Bear Couple spun himself around, and it's not good when one of the drivers up front in the top 4 goes around in front of a field, especially here at Bristol where everyone's right on top of one another.
So the caution is out. Watching here on the replay one more time. Look at this, Uphold, and this time he was caught up in it, and it's kind of shades of where Peterson wrecked just a moment ago in 52.
Yeah, and that contact we just saw from Joseph into Logan Hamilton. Hamilton actually came over the radio and said, you know, I was doing all right until I got T-boned, and then his toe got jacked up. So more issues for himself. We're going to see from that of Watchhorn's point of view of what happened, and oh boy, he just tried to get more damage repaired, and once again that nose, trying to sneak by, but he gets a little bit of right end damage, and Huntley Jr. nowhere to go for the 19.
Holy cow, we saw the 19,
wall.
Man. He had nowhere to go either. Yeah, started rim riding up on the outside retaining wall there, and I wonder how much damage is now on the right side of the 19 car, if you will. Watch this one more time. This was all going on while all of the other calamity happened in front of him. Watch Huntley in the 19 right there in front of Uphold. He done a great job missing that, but that's just that isn't what you call a secondary caution chain reaction according to effect, Samuel Dyer. We're literally one caution where it started, it ended up with several other cars get wrecked in the process.
There's the Nickelodeon of Purcell, his point of view of this incident, and he's just going to be cruising around watching and nowhere to go, front end damage for himself. But, you know, Wesley, when they're packed like sardines, there's nowhere to go once someone starts jostling around.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're fighting over for the last piece of chicken on the dinner table, or the last piece of turkey on Thanksgiving night as well, crescent roll, if you will, you know, you're going to have that type of environment, and we're going to see the same thing here on the racetrack. When these guys are fighting for every inch on the racetrack, you know, it's going to be a fight. And we saw this here. I'm actually surprised. I think I might have jinxed them, as you said, Samuel Dyer, because they did a hell of a job in stage 1, keeping it clean. And guys, we still got a whole stage left. Keep your cars together. Come on.
Yeah, all these guys only have one fast repair to do, but luckily we're here at Bristol. As long as you don't mess up your steering or you mess up your engine, you can have that cosmetic and aero damage, because it's a lot more of making sure you can be full speed into these corners, making sure you can attack the corners well with 4 tires underneath you. And if you have any type of tow or engine damage, you have to come in and fix that damage so you can drive straight and hope that you got full power to keep up with the rest of the pack.
Lights are off on the pace truck. Ready for the restart. It'll be lap number 85 when they work their way back to the Zombie Auto Parts restart zone. McGill leads. Dingler is second. Stone third. Ironically, these are cars that were a lap down, if you remember, at the end of the stages. Now they're right back in the hunt of things. Butcher Benjamin is in fourth. Watchhorn is fifth. Flores, Peterson, Dill, Strofe, and Hamilton. Your top 10 now. Flip-flop Hamilton and Strofe as we get ready for the iRacing pace truck to dive onto the pit lane. L-TAC Cup Stage 2, lap 85, TA 250. Back under green here at Bristol, and on the gas. The outside lane goes first. It's McGill with the whole shot back to 1.
McGill, great launch for himself, but I'm watching Watchhorn in the back. He's in 5th place. Once again, he is brutalizing that front nose, hitting the one of Butcher Benjamin to notify him, hey, get out of the way. I'm going to start moving my way forward, side by side for that of 4th position. And a caution once again, going around. It's Steele. It's going to be Deal, Sean Deal, going around for the 44.
Deal, part of the deal, brings out the caution, Sean Deal, and he puts us under yellow flag for the 5th time. Thank you very much, Carlos, for keeping count. Here's your replay. 4 cautions, by the way, because of accidents. 1 at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, this one's going to be one of those where Deal is going to catch himself. We're watching the guys up front currently, but looking at the guy back for the 44, he's actually going to make contact with the 23 of Flores. And these guys, it's one of those things where you hope your car's going to stick down below, but you drift up.
Contact and Deal.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing, Samuel. We have seen Deal, Peterson, and Uphold all get in that wreck right there, off of that corner, down
Here's
the straightaway.
Watch this again. Deal and
just deal or no deal. Oh,
nowhere to go. It's just hard racing for these guys. And Deal, one of the drivers outside of the top 6 in points coming into this race, 8th. So he was needing a solid run. The drivers that are inside of our top 6 looking good. Holden McGill, Merrick Watchhorn, Logan Hamilton, Joseph, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Jeremy Berger. Those are your top 6 that are inside of the championship drivers if round 2 ended now. And drivers outside that are going to need to have solid runs. Grant Peterson, who's already been involved in a wreck. Sean Deal, we just saw brought out this yellow. That of Purcell, he's another driver that we've already seen in a wreck. And Colin Stone, he didn't get bonus points, but he's been trying to linger and have a great run, which we've been seeing him. He's in 3rd place after a great pit stop for the 43. So Colin Stone, he's having a great run, but some of our other playoff drivers caught up in messes before we even got to halfway.
And we are still working lap 90 this time by when they work their way back to start finish. And we've had this stretch now where they've at least ran 3 laps and then a caution, 3 laps and a caution, and maybe sometimes even less than that. Got to get a stretch of green flag runs back here now as we're working lap 89. Everything was going good since lap 70, and since then in 20 laps we've had 4 cautions in the last 20 laps. It's kind of crazy, but that's the way it's been down.
Yeah, it just keeps on piling up, and that's kind of what short track racing and cautions do. They just breed off of one another. It's a snowball effect of drivers recognizing, hey, I got to be aggressive here. That track position is so important if I want to be having a good run here at the end of stage 2, because stage 3, it's going to be no give, all take. Drivers not giving any space for one another. And right now, Holden Gill and also Taylor Butcher Benjamin, I would say those are the 2 drivers that have been kind of staying pretty stable in the positions they've been all race long. It's everyone else that's kind of been cycling through. They've been in the back, been up front. They just can't decide how consistent they want to be here as we're coming up to lap 91.
So I want to remind you of what's coming up this week on LSRTV. Of course, on Monday night, it is the finale of the American iRacing League Summer Heat Showdown Series. It will be at Stafford Motor Speedway. Twin trucks, twin late models. That will be the only race on Monday, because Monday night and Wednesday night, the Northwest iRacing Cup Truck Series, presented by Tom Denchel Automotive Group, are taking off. Wednesday, the S&B Cup Series is back in action. I believe they're at Charlotte Motor Speedway for that event. Just a couple of races before the playoffs for that series. And then Friday night, right back here for the L-TAC Racing League for their race in round 25. That's the only 3 races on the docket. And we are back to green here at Bristol. More details at livesimracing.com, at LSRTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we are here at Bristol for L-TAC and McGill once again back on the loud pedal, pulling away as they work their way out of turn 4.
Trying to get themselves situated on where they're going to be. You're going to see on the ticker the drivers in green. Those are your playoff drivers. One in blue, non-playoff drivers.
Yeah.
Holden McGill, Ryan Dingler going to be your 1-2 with Butcher Benjamin. In third, drivers trying to cycle around, put themselves in better spots. Watchhorn, he is struggling but bullying his way to try to get back up front in the top 3. That's side by side with the 52.
Yeah, trying to get around Peterson. Peterson's car, even though damaged, battered, bruised, and banged earlier, now he's right back in the thick of things in the top 5. Stone laps earlier in stage 1 down, comes back up. Now he's in 6th. New heavy hitters up at the front, but no change for McGill in 21. He now holds off. Dingler is now the 92 of Uphold, looking like a modified, comes down to the pit lane.
Yeah, Uphold got himself into a mix at the restart and losing a lot of time for himself. Had to come into pit road, get the damage repair, and Uphold's going to be kind of a control car for us, as he is, believe, might have blown his engine with how slow he's running, but might be our control car of how long it takes to get into your box and get out. He's already finding himself 2 laps down, and he hasn't even made it to the front stretch, as it's going to be Holden McGill already trying to pull away. Dingler's doing a great job for himself, but the battle for 3rd place, it's Merrick Watchhorn. He was dominating for a bit here as drivers wrecking in the back through turn 1, and it's a melee. Over 6 drivers collected in this one.
Even the pace truck had trouble trying to get around that calamity.
Deal, Huntley, Pattengale, Flores. Oh my goodness, they just keep on tacking on who's involved with this thing. Springer, Purcell also involved, and it looks like also Kevin Franks might have been involved as well. So 11th through 17th, they were all scattered around one another and just could not survive. This is what the replay is. They just coming into turn 1, all came in, and usually you want to see the C split, not coming collecting through. It's Purcell contact and nowhere to go.
Here's one of those things we talked about again. Look at the pace truck literally trying to weasel through this crash to get back on the racetrack there to do his job. On one more angle, look at it, and it's one of those things here. Go Volunteers, by the way. It's sounding like, by the way, Oklahoma Sooners and man, sounds like Oklahoma and the Texas Longhorns are going to be joining the SEC, is what it sounds like, by the way. But look at the Hamburglar, on board with a Hamburglar. But I was going to say that before I got off sidetrack with football and SEC. You know, I love football, Samuel Dyer. Looking forward to announcing football in the next couple of months. But look at the Burger King man, have it your way, sliding today. There you go.
A little bit of a 2-for-1.
Yeah, 2-for-1. There you go. And you know, it's one of those things where literally, as we approach past lap 100, you're around the wreck. It starts, then everybody's playing catch up to get on the binders to miss that wreck, and they get collected in it. And there is another great example, and that massive half dozen cars involved in that wreck there off turn 3.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for a lot of those drivers is they had already, a couple of them have already used a fast repair, so they're going to have to come in and just manually repair this, which is going to take a lot longer, putting themselves, some of them already a lap down, multiple laps down, with the car still piecing around the race. As we're still in stage 2. Stage 2 comes to a close at the end of lap 30, so still bonus points to be grabbed for our top 10. Jeremy Berger has now moved into that 10th position after weaseling his way through that chaos, so for some of those drivers, Sean Zeal as well, you know, for Purcell, this was not the way that they wanted this race to go for themselves. Both of them were outside, they were 8th and 9th coming into this race in points, needing a solid day, especially for Deal. Deal coming in this race was only about 8 points out from that bubble spot with Jeremy Berger, so it was still looking possible to gain a lot of points, but now, going into these last 2 races this season, of this round, gotta hope that you're more consistent and some of your other competitors have some off days.
Still under yellow flag. It is lap 103 of 250, so we got about 150 laps left to go in this event here at Bristol, as caution is out for the 6th time. McGill, Dingler, Watchhorn, Butcher, Benjamin. Stone is in your top 5. As the rest of the lineup is set here for the top 10. Peterson, Joseph, Hamilton, Berger, Stroth. As we'll get ready to go back to green flag. And by the way, 27 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, stage 2, one of the stages that can catapult you to have a great day or not. Pace truck is off. We are green. Holden McGill, once again, great launch for himself. The driver to watch out for, Merrick Watchhorn, he's up to 3rd after making his way through, and Dingler tried to pinch on the outside, and a little bit of contact for these guys, trying to make sure that they don't wreck one another up front. Dingler, a non-playoff driver, just trying to play spoiler, kind of like what we saw from Causey, but the 8 into the wall.
Back straight away into that turn. No, we'll still stay green. Lap 105 of 250. Here they come back to the line. Start finish. McGill leading. Dingler 2nd. And there's a battle for the lead brewing. 3 cars on lap 106 to the back straightaway at Bristol.
Dingler's trying to find that middle apex where he can really get a great launch for himself, but Holden McGill is just staying in the center lane, carrying the momentum just better than everyone else. And you got Watchhorn that's kind of getting irritated. Watchhorn is finding a much earlier apex in the corner so he can get straight and going full throttle sooner than everyone else. But he just keeps on getting kind of stuck behind the 8 where there's just no space to go full throttle off the exit of these corners.
And they work their way off of that turn, back down, back straight away. 22 remaining in stage 2 here at Bristol. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland, Carlos Acosta on production. LSRTV coverage of round 24 playoffs in the L-TAC Racing League Cup Series. And right now, it's a barn burner. Hopefully a long green flag run will continue. McGill, Dingler, Watchhorn, Butcher, Benjamin, Stone, top 5 back to the line on lap 110.
That's what we're hoping for this thing to continue staying green. And for right now, watching Taylor Butcher Benjamin in 4th position, just letting that American Watchhorn use up its tires, get aggressive, trying to get by the 8, and the 1 just staying patient. Driver, I'm excited on where he's running. That of Colin Stone, 5th place. He didn't get bonus points during stage 1, but could grab some here at stage 2 if these drivers can stay consistent where they're at. Dingler, though, stays high. That's going to be a slide job for Watchhorn.
Across the start-finish line, McGill pulling away. Watchhorn, Dingler, Butcher, Benjamin Stone, your top 5. There they go off into the racetrack into turn number 3 and 4. Across the line, working these laps. And here's the thing, guys. In Bristol it's caution, calamity, caution, calamity. But if you can get a green flag run here, Samuel, you can knock off laps fast here, under 16 seconds at Bristol. You can knock off 5 laps in less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, with the 1 caution we had during stage 1, and then we stayed green for the rest of it, we clicked away those 65 laps in just about 20 to almost 30 minutes of race time, even less than that maybe, as really stage 2 has gone a lot longer with the constant pacing of yellows. We've had 4 cautions so far in stage 2, but the field has calmed down, it looks like. Everyone's starting to get spaced out before our leaders. They might catch up to lap traffic before this stage is over, as they're coming up to 3 cars. That's going to be Kevin Franks, Flores, Springer. They are all on top of one another. Excuse me, that's actually going to be that of Purcell. And drivers have to be careful that are on the lead lap, because those lap cars racing side by side with one another.
McGill, still the man out in front, that 21 machine. Laps ticking away here. We've lost our time and score, and hopefully it'll pop back up on the ticker here in just a moment. Here is, you got the battle of the 21s, 21 lap car, 21 leader. McGill clear him down to the bottom. That's that 21 machine, the Purelator car that looks like the Wood Brother colors, which, by the way, my good late model friend Harrison Burton will be moving into that car for the Cup Series next year. Kind of sad, though, that Matt DiBenedetto will be out of that car, but McGill working his way. Laps winding down in stage number 2. Katie bar the door. I think stage 3 is going to be wild, but we had a pretty wild stage 2 as well as the laps tick away to the finish here at Bristol.
Absolutely, and that was the 21 racing on track right now. That's going to be that of Springer. Springer got in the way, damage to the 8 machine as the battle between that of Taylor Butcher Benjamin and the 8 of Dingler. They're still battling side by side, but we're coming up to 10 laps to go here, Wesley, in stage 2. It took us a while to get there, but it has been a great little stint here of green flag racing, and I think Watchhorn, with that front end damage, it's kind of hindering him from having a shot to catch up to that Holden McGill.
Lap traffic also hindering away for McGill and Watchhorn to have that battle side by side like we saw at the end of stage number 1. And as you said, we're 8 laps to go here at the end of stage 2. We are 3 laps to go to halfway in the TA 250. Lap 125 is the distance, and we got a caution. Trouble. Yellow flag, and it's Berger going around in 97. He is not having his break today.
No, Jeremy Berger was in 10th place looking for those bonus points, and himself and Ryder Strauff making contact between those 2 machines, and they were side by side coming out of turn number 4, but Ryder going to make contact with the outside wall. We'll see it on the replay between the 58 and the 97, but those drivers, they were running hard coming out of turn 4, but it just backfired for the both of them.
The 58 and the 97 battling for position. Watch this again as they go into the corner.
Replay coming out. Ryder Strauff going to get into the wall. Berger just nowhere to go. Innocent victim in that one.
Yeah, the 57, I mean, you saw what happened. Ryder Strauff, he bounced off the wall there coming off of turn 4. Strauff in the 58 car bounced off the wall, and then he just tagged the right front of the 97 of Berger. That is not Berger's fault. He was just an innocent bystander there, just trying to fight for position. Wow.
And with the timing of this caution, we're going to wait for that of Nolan Rempel's call, but that could be putting us in a green-white scenario of how we're going to end this stage. It's pretty close to lap 30, 130 for these guys, so it's going to be close here, Wesley. We might see a shootout to end this thing, which, if it is going to be a shootout, we might be seeing some of these drivers thinking about pitting here early, unless you're thinking about possibly could be too soon. But we're getting the call that the stage is not complete. We are going to reset, have ourselves a little bit of a shootout here. And the question of, do you want to come in and get fresh rubber to possibly challenge some of these drivers? If you're third on back, why not come in, get some tires, challenge our front 2 that have been getting a lot of bonus points here?
Yeah, the only car I see coming down onto the pit lane is obviously that of Sean Deal is in, Ryder Schroff is in. Those cars are getting on that last caution flag. Kevin Franks in the Tennessee car drops onto the pit lane. He's in as well. Logan Hamilton will drop into the pit lane. These are all cars that are behind the back of the top 10, but anybody else in the top 10 within the cat's whisker, the leader, they're staying on the racetrack. They are just after halfway here at Bristol, and I think they're going to stay in position until the end of stage 2.
Yeah, gonna have to wait for stage 2. These drivers did come into this race with 5 sets of tires to work with. The one they started out with in 4 in pit road. A lot of the guys out here had already used 1 set from the end of stage 1, so I'm kind of surprised we didn't see more drivers come in, try to risk to get some fresh rubber to challenge. Yes, it's going to be just a mad dash, but you can gain a couple of positions if the whole entire field comes in as a collective. But as we saw, only the drivers that were a lap down coming in, getting service done, putting them kind of in a poor spot if you did come into pit road this time by. But looking at this field, they're trying to get set up, ready to go. Want to give a big thanks to that of Tucson Sound Art, really helping out L-TAC week in and week out. If you want to get yourself a Bluetooth painting, a way to enhance your little living room or household experience, go to www.tucsonsoundart.com to get yourself a Bluetooth sound art. Amazing content that they have there that you can get. You can bring in and upload your own photos, or you can look at their gallery that they have on their website and pick from there. Again, that's Tucson Sound Art. Go find yourself a Bluetooth speaker, painting speaker, to enhance your living experience.
Pace truck is in. We got about 3 laps to settle it here in stage 2. Green flag goes back in the air. McGill, he'll go for the gearboxes into 1. And while that goes on, Watchhorn up on the top shelf. They're going to have 1 shot at this to lap 130 in stage 2. They're coming to 2 to go this time by.
Almost had a quick caution right when they went going. I wasn't sure if it was JJ or Frank Flores. One of them spun their tires, as now the pit stops, that pit road is closed, but the 20 looks like he might have spun his tires, came down, collected a lot of machines, and that's actually going to be giving Jeremy Berger a shot to now be in the top 10 to get those bonus points. We're going to the white flag at stage 2.
1 more lap to go here in stage 2. McGill and Watchhorn will both ride the top of the racetrack, rim riding down the back straightaway. Dingler for 3rd. That's the way it'll settle as they come to the line.
Again, got to wait until that of Jeremy Berger, who's in 10th place, to cross the line. Then it will be official for stage 2. Here comes the 97 across the line. Stage 2 comes to a close. It's Holden McGill this time around.
Stage 2, what a wild one it was. We haven't been to commercial in a while, but first we're going to see what pit stops entail, and then we'll get ready to go to commercial break. But so far, what a wild, I know this says second caution. That is hashtag fake news. We have had probably 9 caution flags in this race so far. 7 caution flags in just the second stage. That's also counting the caution flags for the stages as well, Samuel. 6 caution flags with Calamity here at Bristol.
Yeah, it has been a doozy of a night for stage 2, and now we're restacking. We're hoping the drivers can settle out their quarries and get themselves straightened out once we go green once again after these pit stops, but it's always tricky once you get into that final stage of a race. Drivers recognizing, hey, we're past halfway.
Here they come.
I'm losing time. I got to make sure I gain positions. And here under pit road, you can gain spots if someone makes a mistake, maybe coming in, sliding through their pit stop. You've had some practice here. Let's hope that you do not make any mistakes coming in pit road.
You can rest assured everybody is coming down to the pit lane. Those cars on the lead lap, obviously, if you're a lap down or more, you have to wait until the next lap to come to the pits. But here come the leaders. And another thing we didn't even think about also, Samuel, is, you know, McGill might be pitted all the way into turn 1, and Watchhorn might be pitted at the flag stand on pit lane. You don't know where their pit stalls are. You see this now as it starts to come into fruition where they're going to park at, but that's another thing you got to keep an eye on. Watchhorn stopped before McGill. McGill at pit stall 1. Butcher Benjamin at pit stall 2, and away we go with 4 tires and fuel, maybe some adjustments if necessary. They're ready to send it to the finish here at the Last Great Coliseum.
Eric Watchhorn, yes, he tried to cut his way through, but this time around did not wait for himself to get any type of damage repair. Going to be staying in second place. Holden McGill, though, winning out of pit road. 21. I mean, that's exactly where he needs to be, in front of the 91 of Watchhorn. McGill getting himself out front. Wesley, whew, pit road got busy.
In first, out first, 21 McGill. Springer was one that stayed on the racetrack. Now he'll come down to the pit lane, and we will take a quick break. More coverage from Bristol when we return. L-TAC.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Sound Art is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers.
Turn 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to L-TAC Cup Series presented by that of Tucson Sound Art. It's round 2, race 2 in the playoffs. As right now, Holden McGill getting us green flag racing for the end of this thing. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Wesley Outland. Wesley, they are going into turn number 1. Watch out for Logan Hamilton as he almost made contact with Watchhorn.
This is going to be less than 120 laps, at least 118 laps, if that. Green flag back in the air. McGill, Watchhorn, Benjamin, Hamilton, Stone, top 5, single file. Rim riding the top shelf at Bristol out of 2.
Keeping themselves in contention. Now the drivers are recognizing, hey, if we don't have a lot of cautions that come out, we're going to have to make a green flag pit stop. And we've already seen, if you come into pit road, you're going to be finding yourself 3 to 5 laps down based on how long your pit stop's going to take. So drivers got to be thinking all race long, when do I really want to come into pit road? Because it's going to be around either lap 200 to 220. That's the window these drivers are looking at if this race stays green. Woo, Watchhorn, watch out.
Wow, 120 laps to go this time by, and you saw Watchhorn and McGill fighting for it. McGill now pulling away. Watchhorn, it's been those two back and forth in stage 1 and 2. Now in stage 3 at the beginning. It's right there again, mano-a-mano. Benjamin now another contender in this dogfight. Hamilton, Dingler, top 5. They work their way again out of 2.
Logan Hamilton, he's been recovering for a while now. He was part of our 3rd wreck here tonight, and so he had some damage he had to repair and slowly, methodically cut his way through traffic. He's now up to 4th, and this is kind of where the 12 has been once in stage 1, around 4th place, just lingering around there. For Logan Hamilton, he qualified in 7th place tonight, so it's been a working all night long to cut your way through traffic, and we've been seeing it all night long. It is difficult to make passes. You got to be aggressive and set yourself up. Sometimes it takes 5 to 10 laps to set up just for one pass.
Back out of the corner. There you see him again working their way. Hey, there's Deal in that 44 car. Even after his bad luck, he's got back on the lead lap. He's in the 11th spot right now. New car looking good. Behind him is Springer. Laps continue to tick away here at Bristol with McGill still out in front. Deal now trying to hold off the likes of Springer. That goes on. All these cars fighting for position as we work around Bristol off of turn 4.
Lap traffic soon to be a factor for our leaders in Watchhorn. We've seen him try to do a slide job move. He tried to set it up one more time. Ryder Stroud going to go to the apron, luckily out of the way of our leaders. But that is a little bit of a scare for Watchhorn that made him back out of making the pass as we're still watching all the great racing. This is the battle that's going on for 4th position as they're just about a second, a little bit less than a second off of what our leaders, that front 3 are running.
Working off of 4, back across the start-finish line. McGill, Watchhorn. Watchhorn is there. He's got a run on the inside, just cannot seem to open that door. And he gets it shut on him again. Butcher Benjamin, though, has closed in on those 2 leaders as they go across the line back to turn number 3. And we got sound again in our life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching just for Taylor Butcher Benjamin, what we've been seeing all race long. His tendency is being quick, fast for the first 30 to 40 laps, staying pretty close within a second of our leaders. And then after those 40 laps, he just loses touch. He's not able to really hold on to the draft / his tire wear just drops off. So the one, if he's going to make any passes and stay up front, he needs to make them now in the next 20 laps. Otherwise, he's going to possibly lose touch to our front two and hope that he can finish in the top 3.
McGill, Watchorn, Butcher Benjamin there, 1, 2, and 3. Hamilton, followed by Dingler, top 5. Stone, Joseph, Peterson. Huntley is there in 9th, and Pattengale, your top 10. There is now 13 cars on the lead lap if you count Deal, Flores, and Springer, but they're in the cat's hair, crosshairs of going a lap down as well as we approach under 100 to go at Bristol.
Under 100 to go, and Holden McGill holding off that of Watchorn. Watchorn, after Richmond's race, that was Rockingham last week, found himself very disappointed. Felt like he had the winning car last week. A late caution put him and trapped him a lap down. And after that race, kept on saying, I needed that win. And he kept on saying maybe there was a conspiracy on why I didn't win that race. Got trapped a lap down. But certainly the aggression was going to be built up for the 91. Wanting to win, you're going to be seeing the battling going on for 4th place. To your right for the lead, on your bottom left. Battles all over the racetrack, and this is what Bristol gives you. Constant content of what is going on track. And for our leaders, they're battling strong, but coming up to lap traffic, easily breeze on by.
Yeah, you're watching the battle for the lead on the bottom left of the monitor. Top right is this battle amongst the pack inside the top 5. And we're going to flip-flop that, if you will. Now the leaders go to the top right. Bottom left is now the battle inside the top 5. And it's heated up for the lead. Watching them side by side. Watchorn, McGill battling again off the corner.
And for that, Colin Stone, you're seeing on the right side, the 43. He's not now trying to make sure he stays in the top 5. Got his bonus points that were needed for himself after finishing in 5th position during stage 2. The goal now, finish in the top 5. Coming into this race, Colin Stone was 20 points out as Logan Hamilton getting out of sorts. Got to be careful as that's also Peterson and also Joseph got to be careful for the 12. He's stuck in the middle, might be falling back, but Colin Stone 20 points out coming into this race. The driver he was going after was Jeremy Berger, and Berger only has gotten 1 stage point. That bonus point so useful for himself, but he's back in 14th. The gap is going to shrink dramatically from 6th back to 10th in these points. Again, only our top 6 get to move on to the championship round.
Keeping an eye on them as they work their way back around the corner out of that turn. Out of 4, here they come across the stripe. 90 laps to go. McGill, Watchorn, and he is getting impatient as he got up under the rear deck. Linda McGill to the backstretch at 3.
Yeah, let's remember, Watchorn has used this bumper a couple of times here tonight. He's bumped drivers he didn't mean to hit. He's gotten drivers out of the way using this bumper. We have not seen him do the bump and run just yet successfully for the lead. It's always been clean slide job moves. And here we go. 91 to the inside, just not clear enough. Still door banging coming out of 4.
Door banging, riding on board there with the man that's in that number 2 spot, McGill and Watchorn. Watchorn, McGill battling here off of turn 2. Back straightaway at Bristol. McGill still holds on, and he will still stay on the outside lane. Nobody can catch him as he rides the top. He'll close in on the bottom as he hits the straightaway, but then he goes right back up to the top shelf where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa up at the marbles into turn 3.
That was a lap down and now into major trouble. Had to go into pit road. That's going to be Brian Huntley Jr., the 91. Contact between himself and Jeremy Berger. The 19, had to go into pit road. Huntley Jr., it was a rough day for himself. He is now coasting his way into pit road.
Start finish line, there they go. Gotta wonder something here as well, as we just saw McGill bounce off the wall. There goes Watchorn, man, one wrong slip, and he's gonna capitalize on it. He's ready. McGill testing the tides, going up too high on the outside wall. And while that goes on, Watchorn is there, 30 thousandths of a second. Almost a second and a half back is gonna be Butcher Benjamin, but honestly, as they work by more lap traffic trying to get around the lap car of Berger, they'll do that. They're trying to reel in. He's trying to reel them in. As now Butcher Benjamin has to get around Berger's car to get back up to the top 2 as they go to turn 3.
Lap traffic going to be a big factor here, though in stage 3, as for the first stage, we were slowly chipping away at the bottom, probably last 5 drivers of the field. We never really got to the meat of the pack for our leaders to try to cut their way through. With how long stage 3 is, if we stay green, our leader's going to have a lot more lap traffic to deal with, as we see it here. McGill is trapped. He's got a wall of drivers. He's got to figure out how to get by.
Got to do something here. 80 laps to go. And here's something else that I was just thinking about as well, Samuel. Green flag pit stops. Could that happen here down the stretch? We on this long green flag run since we dropped the green flag in stage number 3. They have been at it. There's the gyro cam on board with second place car, Watchhorn. You can see him reeling in the leader, McGill, but they're also reeling in lap traffic, as that's how banked it is here in Bristol. 28 degrees of banking as they come across the start-finish line.
It is just so much you have to worry about it constantly, trying to keep in a rhythm. Here at this short track, Sean Deal going to be coming into pit road for the 44, heavily damaged. And looking at this field and the way that they're racing, I'm interested to see if who's going to be the next driver to DNF. Our first DNF going to be that of Huntley Jr., who just could not cut it for himself after the heavy damage, didn't have a fast repair. He is now out of this thing.
Watching now that car, 57, Purcell. He'll go a lap down again. That'll make him now 8-9 laps down in the process. 33 also going another lap down. That's going to be Pattengale. As that goes on, there they fight and claw back around the corner. It's the leader, McGill, working his way around more lap traffic, as well as Watchhorn in 2, and that goes off into turn 1.
Just so many different scenarios these drivers have to worry about. Looking at the fuel window, though, the drivers looking around anywhere from lap 200 to 220. That's the window, and we should start to see drivers having to come into pit road. We were given the window of 80 to 90 laps was the fuel window for these drivers, so they can push it as far as lap 220. That's as far as we're expecting these drivers to go.
And they're going to have
caution
pit.
help. Yeah,
yes.
they're going to have to pit for sure.
We might see the strategy of a green flag pit stop unless we get a visit by the Banana Republic flag. And if you do not know what a banana color is, it is yellow. Thank you for coming to school. It is McGill leading the way. Watchhorn there in second spot. That's that 91 machine. Butcher Benjamin to third. And there is the 21 McGill. Steele holding on all comers while also fighting off lap traffic. He fights off more lap cars and the battle for the leaders as we approach lap 1-2. Approach to lap 200 is what I meant to say. They're Stone in 43.
Got 200 coming up faster than we would think, as again, each lap that these drivers are running with the older tires around 16 seconds. So they're just clocking these laps away a little bit more than 4 laps. I mean, 4 laps, a little bit more than a minute in length for these drivers. So they're really cruising around, as you see JJ going a little bit high, trying to get by the 33. Pattengale, one of the drivers, a lap down, and the mixture of lead lap and lap cars, it's here now. It is in full swing, and these are around the times that we usually start to see drivers that are unfamiliar running around lap traffic could be bringing out that Banana Republic.
And there you see now this battle heating up for the third spot. Butcher Benjamin, the number 1 Mountain Dew car, getting some company from Dingler. Dingler closing in as they'll work their way back to start finish. Down to turn number 1 and 2. This is for third, and if this battle continues up, look at McGill and Watchhorn. They can be able to pull away. By the way, Butcher Benjamin already 3.5 seconds back to the top 2 as they cross the stripe.
Yeah, and looking at some of these other battles that are going on as we're watching our leaders still cutting through traffic, trying to put Logan Hamilton a lap down. Hamilton running in 9th place, already starting to crack into the top 10 of drivers a lap down, and every single car that you get by as a leader, and the thicker you go into lead lap, drivers are going to be going a lap down. The more aggression you're going to find from those drivers wanting to stay on the lead lap. Harder and harder is almost a little bit of contact for the 21 and the 12. Got to be careful there for those drivers, but each car you pass just gets a little bit harder each time you get by someone. They're a little bit faster than the guy previously, and it's going to be hard work from here on out for our lead lap, for our leaders getting by this traffic.
Working Twiggy, 91, that's Watchhorn. You see he has lost ground to the leader because he's got 2 lap cars in front of him. He's got to get around them. to make something happen. By the way, there's only 8 cars on the lead lap. Berger about to get past. Deal about to get passed next by Watchorn. And while that goes on, you saw in front of him the tail lights, the back of the rear deck lid of the 21 of McGill is here comes now. Watchorn pulling the trigger to the inside on Deal, the lap car to the bottom into turn 3.
Yeah, trying to get by, and some of the drivers to give note that are in pit road. Sean Deal has come into pit road about 17 laps ago, trying to get repairs done for the 44 machine, but he is it's not looking good points wise for that team. They were 8th in points, pretty far back from the bubble line. They needed another solid run. This is going to be putting them further and further back, kind of in a must win for these next 2 races, try to just gain points. Again, there's no win in your in. It's all about staying consistent through every race in these playoffs. Each round, for round 1 and 2, 4 races that you have to be consistent for in each of those rounds. Our championship round, with our top 6 in points after round 2, that's when we'll only have 3 races to see who could be the most consistent during that stint. But Wesley, here tonight, we're finishing up our first 2 races of round 2 that were short tracks, and then we're going back to mile-and-a-half racing. We are going to be finding ourselves going to Las Vegas and then going out to finish the round 2 out at Homestead. A lot of fun to bring out from those 2 racetracks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I mean, definitely. And hey, I heard Daytona in the playoffs. Oh my goodness, that's going to be awesome.
That's
Super
how we
Speedway,
start.
right?
Oh
yeah.
That is the start of the championship round of our top 6 is going to Daytona, then Iowa, finishing it out throwback style at Darlington. Drivers are they're going to have a mix for that championship 6 on how well they can stay consistent in those 3 races.
Should be fun. And we're looking forward to it along the way to covering it on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Carlos Acosta doing a great job in the production chair, along with everybody at Rocket Media, including Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, Samuel Dyer. I'm Wesley Outland. Coverage continuing here in the TA 250 as the 2A 250 is about to approach lap 200 in a few more circuits, and it's been the McGill Watchorn Show battling here 1 and 2 throughout the night at Bristol.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer when these drivers might want to think about splitting this race in half. I mean, they're getting past the halfway marker for the way that stage 3 has gone so far, but I think for a lot of these leaders, with the knowledge of how long it takes to go through pit road, it's kind of risky to be the first car to try to even undercut the field, because you just don't know when that yellow could be possibly be coming out. A driver coming in that was already a lap down, Kevin Franks for the 98. But for our leaders, I mean, I don't know if you can even try the thought of an undercut. You have to stay out there until you run out of fuel.
McGill, there he is, the 21. He has been the dominator all night long here at Bristol. Holden McGill, Merrick Watchorn in second, Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the third, and he still continues to fight off Dingler for that 3rd and 4th position. And while in doing so, losing ground. Butcher Benjamin now 4.5 seconds back to the leader. Watchorn Samuel Dyer, as we approach 50 laps to go here in 2 more circuits, is 2 seconds back to the leader. McGill is on the afterburners as they cross the line.
Yeah, it's kind of a rubber band effect that we've been seeing from Holden McGill and Watchorn of every about 20 to 30 laps, they string out from one another, then they come back for another 10 to 15 lap run, and then they string out again. As you can see, the intervals of the way that they've been running between the 2 drivers, as we're coming up to 50 laps to go for these drivers, it's ticking away. But again, the window we were given was around 80 to 90 laps is the fuel window, which that's going to be within the next, looking at the calculations, 22 laps for these drivers. So around 230 is as far as these drivers can go, but into the pits, slowing down. It looks like it's going to be Merrick Watchorn first on pit road.
And here's what we talked about. You have got to hit your marks. You could not make a mistake, as here comes Watchorn onto the pit lane. And remember, we talked about possibility of going a lap down just by pitting. Now, Dingler is on the pit lane. He's going to pit and give up a top 5 run right now. Down the scoring pylon, here comes now Watchorn. all the way around the racetrack. Honestly, Samuel, you're going to go 2 laps down or more, honestly.
Yeah, we were given the number of you could go around 5 laps down, making a full stop, going all the way around the track, pace under pit road pacing, and then getting your service done, getting out. So there's a shot that we could be seeing Merrick Watchhorn go that many laps down. As here's that of Holden McGill coming into pit road a couple of laps later, and what looks like maybe coming in a lap later than someone else is kind of a little bit of a shock, because how long these drivers are out there. Watchhorn 2 laps down after getting his service done.
And if they get a caution flag, you are stuck. 2 cars now make it 3 cars on the lead lap. It's now Stone the leader, Butcher in second, Butcher Benjamin, he's on the pit lane now. Hamilton now back on the racetrack. Flores is back on track, so cars are getting laps back that were a lap down before, but while that goes on, you now see Watchhorn go a lap down. We saw now McGill go a lap down. Now they're on the tail end of the lead lap, so just as fast as they were going to go a lap down, they're quickly going to go back to the top of the scoring pylon if we don't get a caution flag with 43 to go here at Bristol.
It was just a question of where they wanted to be, but for the drivers that pitted that once were for the lead, that of McGill and also that of Watchhorn side by side after their pit cycles going through, and the undercut for Watchhorn did not work out. He could not make the pass, but they're trying to sneak their way through as Uphold's in the way.
Uphold lap car is a pick down to the bottom of the racetrack, so is also Pattengale. McGill will clear him. There goes Dill. McGill across the line, close in on 40 to go here at Bristol. And the battle now with Hamilton in the lead will cycle back around when he pits. McGill and Watchhorn. The battle with Berger third as they go to turn 1.
Logan Hamilton, who was our leader, stayed as long as possible, 75 laps for himself. Coming into pit road is Logan Hamilton. Holden McGill, though, in the lead, and he's got to try to hold off. And we were talking about that rubber banding effect. By the time that these drivers finally get cycled through, Holden McGill, Watchhorn, they did a fabulous job for themselves, stretching the lead even more than what it was before.
Stretching the lead, ready to bring it to the house here. What a show it has been. And it is not done yet.
Jeremy Berger, I'm looking to see exactly what possibly happened. I mean, it looks like he's just extremely damaged. Jeremy Berger having to come back into pit road, an unscheduled stop, I believe, for the 97, which is going to be putting him a lap down, losing even more ground points-wise. Jeremy Berger was 6th in points, the bubble driver, having a poor day for himself, looking like he might lose that bubble spot to Grant Peterson if we finish out the way that the drivers are running now.
213 of 250. McGill out in front. Watchhorn in second. Dingler third. Butcher Benjamin, and as I said, this is the way it cycled out after the green flag pit stops. And you got to say, Samuel, thank goodness they did not get a disaster of any cars putting out a caution flag while that sequence of green flag pit stops is going on. Because honestly, if that would have happened, being 2 laps down or more, their race would have been over. They would have had to fight and claw to get back into this event. But now, with 35 laps to go, McGill looks to be in the catbird seat after a green flag pit stop to win here at Bristol.
Yeah, McGill, this was an absolute, I mean, I think for all of our leaders, it was a gutsy call to come in whenever you were thinking about coming in, because you didn't know if a caution came out. It's going to put you in such a tough spot as trying to get by lap traffic is our leaders. Closest racing action is our leaders, and then also the battle that's going on for 5th place, which that's Colin Stone and Grant Peterson, which both those drivers racing in very important points wise. Colin Stone, he got the bonus points that he needed to try to cut into the gap that he had to try to rebound from after a poor showing last week at Rockingham. And for Peterson, he's going to be the driver that should be taking over that bubble position, so he needs to make sure he finishes in front of Stone, so Stone doesn't gain more positions and points than he is already looking like he's going to gain here tonight.
McGill, Watchhorn, Dingler, 1, 2, and 3. And there goes more cars. Stone, how about Stone getting caught up in an accident earlier? He's back into the top 5. Peterson is there as well. Joseph caught up in an accident and earlier in the race, and now they are right there when it counts the most in the top 10. By the way, only 7 cars on the lead lap from McGill to Joseph, 1 to 7, 14 15 seconds back. We don't need that pace truck anymore. We're ready to bring this to the checkered flag. McGill leads them off turn 4, 30 to go.
30 laps to go. And looking at the field, I think almost everyone was caught up at some type of wreck and incident here tonight. I think Holden McGill might be the only driver that's been keeping himself clean, but he got himself up front early on in this race, got the pole position, has been in control for almost every single lap, and it's no surprise that Holden McGill's up front. Track position, one of the more important factors here at Bristol, because as long as if there's a lot of cautions that come up, you're the driver that's taking control, gets ahead of everyone else. You don't have to worry about the danger of drivers behind you.
Ready to bring this one to the finish here with McGill still leading the way. Laps winding down at Bristol. McGill now about less than 3/4 of a second over Watchhorn. Then 6 seconds back, 7 seconds back. Dingler, what a good run for him though in the number 8 car. 8 seconds back is Butcher Benjamin. Laps winding down, 25 to go when they come to the line out of turn 4 this time go at Bristol.
Then in 5th place, you got Colin Stone. Graham Peterson going to be in back in 6th place. JJ Joseph in 7th. Last car on the lead lap, trying to hold off that of Holden McGill, but I think that might be a lost cause the way the laps are ticking away. And then first car 1 lap down, the only car 1 lap down, going to be that of Richard Springer. And if a caution comes out, the 6 isn't involved, he'll get that lucky dog spot, bringing us back to 8. But that's if a caution comes. Kevin Frakes 2 laps down in 9th position. 3 laps down is Robert Pattengale. It just seems like every car you go back, they're one more than the last car going a lap down.
Yeah. As they work their way back down the back straightaway into the 3rd turn. Look at McGill. What a strong performance. Under 25 laps to go. 23 to be exact on the scoring ticker. And McGill still with a comfortable lead, being consistent, knocking off laps consistently away from Watchhorn. The interval still 3/4 of a second like it's been 5 laps ago. It's still the same as they go to turn 1.
Yeah, the longer the run goes on, it seems like Holden McGill just starts to gap himself more and more. Probably in the last 10 laps of this race, we might see Watchhorn kind of decrease that gap just a little bit. But Holden McGill, if this race stays green, and as long as he doesn't get trapped behind any lap cars, it's looking pretty sweet for that of Holden McGill. But looking back at the past, last season, it was a year ago that these drivers were here at Bristol. There were so many cautions that came out, a total of 20 cautions for that race. You got to give massive props to this field. Yes, it's a smaller field than most, but hey, big props on keeping it less than 10 here tonight.
20, make it now 19 to go. The laps are ticking away here at Bristol. What a show it has been for the L-TAC Cup League. And this battle going on here. Steele open up a second back now. Losing ground, Watchhorn. Watchhorn had a shot. And it was during that battle of the sequence of the pit stops and cycling on the racetrack. And I think if he could have got a clear around McGill, he could have had a chance to win this race. But right now, I think it's the McGill show. It's been that way all through the 3 stages. He won stage 1, he won stage 2, and Watchhorn has just been second. Well, Watchhorn won stage 1, McGill won stage 2. But as we continue to watch this battle in this race, continuing to the finish of things, Samuel, McGill is just the better car, the stronger car. Watchhorn losing ground, 1.5 seconds now. 15 to go here at Bristol next time by.
Yeah, I mean, the short run speed for the 91 of Watchhorn, he has been very quick, but the longer setup, I mean, the long run setup has just been so much better for Holden McGill, just been able to conserve the tires, and you just see him going through these corners. It's been so smooth. It's not as an aggressive apex entry. It's a lot more of keep your momentum, just roll around the top of these corners that we're seeing from Holden McGill. For Watchhorn, it's kind of a diamond type of a shape that we're seeing from the 91. He kind of attacks aggressive early into these corners, trying to get a better launch out of the exit, but is wearing down those tires more. And as you're seeing, he is losing time as the gap is almost up to 2 seconds.
Yeah, time running out here as they work their way back across the line. McGill is out in front. Watchhorn in second. They are 1 and 2. Dingler is third. Butcher Benjamin is closing in. There's a 7-second gap now. Stone to 5th. That's your top 5. Peterson, Joseph, Springer, Flores, Gale, the top 10, laps winding down. McGill looking for a checkered flag at Bristol, and he's looking good right now.
McGill trying to get his 4th win this season, and it has been all Holden McGill for most of this season. I think for round 1, for after we got to see some super speedway racing, that was around the time that we kind of saw Holden McGill lose the points lead. He has been the points leader for practically every single week, and just extending that lead even more coming into this race. He already had a 9-point lead over Merrick Watchorn. Those were your top 2 in points, and from that of McGill coming into this race all the way back to Stone 10th in points, it was a 37-point gap just after one race that Holden McGill put on a show, and no surprise that he's up front doing so well. The Wesley were less than 10 laps, and the 21, he's coming up to a little bit of lap traffic, but it's most likely he's going to try to keep himself smooth here as the rest of the field is trying to get aggressive to gain as many positions as possible.
Yeah, these laps ticking away. I mean, literally, we talked about it, and you want to be honest, here's a statistic for you. When we dropped the green flag in stage number 3, we have not looked back. No caution flag whatsoever for 123 laps. This race going ready to go to the finish in this 130-lap green flag run. Totally was not expecting this. What a change of events. Laps winding down. 5 to go next time by. It's the McGill Show at Bristol.
And even in a more crazier stat is we are running half of what the full race would be for the actual NASCAR Cup Series race. And usually those races are about 3 to 4 hours long based on how many cautions come out and the pace of those drivers. We're coming up to halfway through that. We're not even green flag racing wise. We're less than an hour and 30 minutes into this race. The pace that we've been seeing from these drivers, incredible from stage 1 to stage 3.
Yeah, it's been a good job by everyone here in the L-TAC iRacing League. And by the way, props to Nolan Rimple and the director of the series, everybody handling the day-to-day operations to make this event be successful. To the line, 3 to go. McGill, he is gone. It's his race to lose now. The interval now 3 seconds back to Watchorn, and he is approaching lap traffic. Can Watchorn capitalize as he goes to 3?
First car that's going to be the issue for our leader, if he catches up to them, is going to be that of Pattengale. Pattengale's looking pretty slow, so probably in these last 2 laps, might have to make a pass here. Gotta hope Pattengale gets out of the way. He does to the apron. 33 moves out of the way. Next car is going to be Joseph, but it's the 1 to go, Wesley.
CRN 1 to go. More details at wearecrn.com. White flag one more time around. McGill, what a dominating performance, especially in stage 3. Back straight away, final time at Bristol.
Holden McGill, he might not have gotten a win last week. Watchorn wanted it, but this time, playoff driver wins. Holden McGill, the 21. Round 2, race 2. Bristol goes to Holden McGill. Second place, Watchorn. Dingler out of Taylor Butcher. Benjamin coming across the line. And Colin Stone able to hold on. That from Grant Peterson. And that is a great showing for the 31 as cars come smashing into one another. A little bit of early celebration for the drivers. As a whole bunch of congratulations to everyone here as your top 3 coming across the line.
What a celebration. McGill just simply dominated this event. Watchorn got stage 1, but when they got into that stage 2 to the finish, what a performance. Yeah, I think Stone and Deal just kind of having a little playing games with one another there. There is your top 6, I guess. Would you say top 6 at the end of the race?
I mean, it's something.
They are going 4 wide at the conclusion of the race. Normally, a lot of races I announce across the country, we are going 4 wide before the start of the race. They are going 4 wide at the conclusion of the race.
Hey,
it is McGill the winner.
Giving a salute to themselves and to the fans as cars are backing off.
Yeah, they burn it out.
It's time for Holden McGill to go and burn it down. And whew, what a race it was, Wesley. It went quick, but it certainly was a lot of fun action to watch.
Certainly was. Fun times here tonight. And again, the driver, that number 21, it was the driver with almost an interval second of 3.5 seconds or 3.27 seconds officially at the stripe. Holden McGill over Merrick Watchorn. Ryan Dingler again getting it done in the top 3. They're on the podium. Everyone else is watching McGill burn it down here at the last great Coliseum. And if I'm doing my stats correctly, also Samuel Dyer, this is win number 5 of the season for Car 21.
It's actually going to be win number 4, it looks like.
4. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's going to be the most wins of all the drivers, with number 4 beating out Joseph, who had 3. That's both those drivers were tied up. So Holden McGill, he has the points to lead, has the most wins so far this season. This driver's going to go salute it off. We'll take a look here at our final results of this race. It was a blast to watch these guys. Holden McGill getting the win for the 21. And in second place is going to be that of Merrick Watchhorn. Ryan Dingler in third, with Taylor Butcher Benjamin in fourth place. Colin Stone in fifth, with Grant Peterson getting sixth position. Joseph JJ seventh, with that of Richard Springer going to be getting 8th place. Kevin Flores going to be 9th, and that of Robert Pattengale getting 10th position.
And the rest of the rundown will include Jeremy Berger, Logan Hamilton, Kevin Franks, Barrick Uphold, Stefan Purcell, Sean Deal, of course, also Brian Huntley, and Ryder Schroff is the full field rundown, along with Tommy Gossett, who had problems right at the get-go. And that is the way it ends the 19-car field in round 24 of the L-TAC iRacing League. Best lap of the race. There you see it, 14 point. Can we see it again? Take away the Chevrolet logo. 14. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was the best lap of the race that was popping up on the screen. My bad.
I believe the fastest lap goes to Merrick Watchhorn with a 14.951 to the 91. But even with that fastest lap, it wasn't quick enough to run down the 21 of Holden McGill. But drivers got to burn it down, got to give their salute. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3. Holden McGill, Merrick Watchhorn, and Ryan Dingler in just a few. And man, Wesley, it was a blast, but it has to come to a close here shortly.
Yes, and by the way, buddy, I'm going to let you handle top 3. I've got family here tonight, and I have not ate dinner, and I want to spend some time with them, and it's been nice spending the last couple of hours with you guys, so I'm going to let you handle the top 3 interviews with these guys. I know you know them very well, and hopefully I'll work with you another Friday night, and of course I will see you again on Monday night for the American iRacing League finale at Stafford.
Every customer, every single time, needs to get our very best. From moment one, my goal managing a team here in the dealership is to make sure that that customer's experience is the very best that they've ever had. We expect and demand total transparency. There should never be a time in that transaction where the customer is wondering or not quite sure of what they're buying or what they're paying or those sorts of things. And having that transparency and doing things the right way is super important.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing SoundArt, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With SoundArt, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Sound art is elegantly hidden behind a high-grade, textured canvas wrap, bringing together the best of sound and art. This innovative design allows for a truly invisible, high-fidelity sound experience without bulky speakers. For licensors and other businesses, we are capable of producing thousands of units per day.
We're using the highest quality materials to give you the best product available in the market. Everywhere you look, there's always art. What I like so much about sound art, that you could just pair it and play.
Ansia, your art never sounded so good.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to L-TAC Cup Series action presented by that of Tucson Sound Art. It was all Badger Racing, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be up front, dominating fashion by Holden McGill, Merrick Watchhorn, and Ryan Dingler just dominating for themselves. Here tonight, though, we're going to give a shout out to Wesley Outland for joining us in the booth. He had to take off, like he said, for commercials, but thank you, Wesley, for joining us. But for now, we've got our top 3 up in the booth. Ryan, it's Sam at the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Well, you had to battle the one of Butcher Benjamin for the end there, but how was it trying to finish out this stage 3? We saw such a different stories from stage 1, 2, 2, 3, but it seemed like it was a fun battle between yourself and the one.
Yeah, I felt like he was faster than me several times throughout the night. So once I saw him in my mirror there on that last stage, I was getting kind of nervous, but I just tried to focus on what was in front of me, and it was getting a little loose, but I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had fun tonight. It was fun battling him.
I mean, Ryan, one of the fastest non-playoff drivers. How was it trying to run with these playoff guys, trying not to ruin their race, but also knowing that you can be quick and aggressive up here?
Yeah, me and Merrick had a little incident earlier where he's needing points, and I'm like, you're gonna have to earn them.
Yeah, I mean, when your teammates got to make sure you give someone out there a little bit of a push. But Ryan, a great showing here tonight. Was there any surprise for you? I know for us in the booth, it was the fact that we didn't see as many cautions as last year brought, but was there anything else for you?
I mean, honestly, the cautions was a big surprise. I mean, there was a few, but like not as many as I thought. I'm actually surprised I did as good as I did because I didn't get any practice all week. Played golf last night and just showed up to race. So I had fun. It was good fun.
Well, Ryan, congratulations on your top 3 finish. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
I'd just like to thank all of Badger Racing. It's a ton of fun racing with these guys. They helped me out a ton with pit strategy and all that stuff. I wish Moose could be here. We miss racing with him. But otherwise, we appreciate what you guys do. Y'all broadcast is awesome. Nolan and all the other admins that run the series, it's a ton of fun. Best league out there. Good job, guys.
Ryan Dingler in the 8, getting a 3rd place finish for himself, being the 3rd car of the Badger Racing crew. Getting 2nd place, Merrick Watchhorn. Merrick, you showed a lot of pace. You won stage 1, but then we saw a lot of front-end damage that just no one really wanted to give your front end a break at all. You seemed like you were getting caught up in everything. Once you got the repairs done, another car hit you. How was it trying to conserve your front bumper all night long?
I'm pretty sure that my crew definitely brought a detached nose from the hauler and put a brand new one on the car, because every time I was getting cleared or something was going down, I was involved in something. I wrecked my teammate Grant by accident on the restart. He spun his tires, got really loose and squirrely. I was trying to drag the brake, but I had someone behind me, so I was trying to make sure not to hit him and sent Grant around for a little ride. It felt really bad about it. I apologize, Mia. I was so bad. I'm like, I'll take you out to dinner later after that. But no, this twig machine, it was very hard trying to keep it clean. Really tight out there too. Everyone was just battling for position.
Yeah, I mean, Merrick, we were watching the drivers. We knew that if the race stayed green in stage 3, that there was going to have to be a green flag pit stop, but it seemed like there was that major risk of going multiple laps down. What made you think that you had to be the first car coming into pit road?
I knew that the outside was the dominant lane. This is a 1-lane groove for all intents and purposes. So I knew that if I didn't pit honestly, if I pitted maybe a lap sooner, I would have been ahead of Holden, my teammate. but he was really saving the tires, and I didn't really see him really drive the car hard until that last stretch where he just opened up a different driving style that I was trying to do all night long, and he just could just put the car where it needed to go. I don't know if it was just the brake bias or, you know, or something, but he was definitely the car to beat tonight. I was doing everything I could on the first stage to see if I can be fast, but I was burning up my stuff a lot faster than he was. But I mean, it was a tough battle. The track and the setup was a lot tighter than I thought it would be, and I was trying to save my stuff a lot more than I would like to.
Yeah, I mean, touching on with the tire saving, it seemed like that was also staying patient and setting yourself up. It just seemed like you were so much faster on the short run. And I was noticing from the booth, it seemed like you were willing to just diamond early in the corners while it looked like Holden was kind of just riding smooth all the way through every single run. Were you trying to be that aggressive early on, recognizing that you had to do that move because you weren't going to be able to do it later on?
Yes, because at the end of the day, like I said, the outside is the most important lane, and on the old tires, like at the end of stage one, Holden really could not get by me. Once those tires are gone, 20, 30 laps on those tires, it's practically impossible to pass the car ahead of you unless they really mess up. And there was a couple of times that I almost messed up and gave the lead to Holden. But after stage one, I knew what I had to do. But when I came down pit road, instead of using my fast repair, I just took the 12-second repair and kind of went back to like seventh or ninth position, and I had to work my way back up. And then the big one happened, and I wreck ran. I mean, it was a tough fought battle back up to second. And then when I got past Ryan after I sent it in sideways and almost like cut off his nose, I'm glad that he was a teammate. He just let me by. But at the same time, tonight was tough. My wrists are hurting after this race.
Yeah, and this is the last question. Then you can thank your sponsors after it. Gotta say, we had this short little stint of short track racing, Rockingham, and then here at Bristol, we're now going back to mile and a half racing. How are you feeling about that transition?
I'm hoping that with the just with that position at mile and a half. I mean, I was pretty good at Chicagoland. I was pretty decent at Atlanta. I know I got pace at Charlotte, so hopefully I can pull another one, and definitely see if I can win Las Vegas. That'll be kind of nice just to put a third win on the tally. And now we got the boss man Holden, who is the 4-time winner of the season.
And now the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank my sponsors, Twiggy, Washer Innovations Group, Blue Ridge, new guys that jumped on with me, Auto Group. I want to thank MS. I want to also thank Futuristic Studios, really good friend of mine. Always fun to have him on my car. I want to also shout out to Capture the Occasion, really good friend. He takes awesome pictures. I've been trying to find his Instagram to self-promote him, but he won't give it to me, and he's been really busy with his kids and whatnot, so he hasn't been able to send that handle towards me. Just want to thank all the L-TAC guys. You guys are sponsoring and showing us off and showing the love we all deserve. And want to thank Holden and Badger Racing guys. I mean, a lot of strategy was coming down to when we were going to pit and work together, and it's kind of nice finding a home that you can goof off with and have fun and not have drama every week. So it was kind of nice being out there and with a good group of guys and having fun.
Yeah, I mean, Merrick, you had a great run here tonight, finishing second for the 91 team, and good luck next week.
Thanks, man.
And next up in victory lane, Holden McGill. Holden, I mean, you were battling Merrick all race long, and after stage one, you found the track position up front, and you never looked back, it seemed like.
Yeah, he definitely kept me honest tonight. It seemed like Merrick had a little bit better short run speed, and then kind of started to even out, and it wasn't until pretty late in the run that I felt like I could really get away from him, but just a real close race between the two of us overall.
We saw the hard fly battling that was going on during stage one, and then the transition to stage two, a lot of those cautions coming out. What was your mindset when you started to see all those cautions building up? Did you think it was going to transition over to stage three?
You never know. I mean, I wasn't sure how many cars were getting knocked out from it, or if people were just going to use their fast repairs and back it off a little bit. And I guess that's kind of what happened. Everybody started to behave seemed like, that last stage, and turned out for a pretty good race.
And we saw the transition through stage 3, came into pit road. You came into pit road a little bit later than Merrick. Were you concerned that maybe you had stayed out a little bit too long, that you would have given the 91 that position for the lead?
Oh, surely. If I'd stayed out any longer, he was going to pass me. I was just waiting for him to pit, and then I knew I was going to have to come in the next time, or he was going to get by me, and I wasn't going to be able to pass him again. And he almost got by me anyway, but I just had just enough.
Well, Merrick, with Holden, you having this battle with Merrick most of this season, it seems like we're now transitioning to mile and a half racing. How are you feeling about going back to Las Vegas and Homestead?
I'm fine with them. In this series, it's kind of seemed like there are a little more wild cards than most of the tracks, so pretty happy to get a almost maximum points tonight here today, and that gives me a bit of a head start on it. So even if I do stumble a little bit, I'm still good to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give you a great bubble to that 6th place position. That just is, it's getting chaotic down there on who's going to be battling out with you guys in the top 6 moving forward. But Holden, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Just want to thank my teammates, Ryan, Grant, and Merrick. Merrick has been an awesome addition to the team. I feel like we've all stepped up a little bit since he came in. I want to thank my sponsors, paytowinsetups.com, Main and Tail, S2S, and Root. I want to thank the admins for putting on a good show. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting it. I can't wait to go watch it. And I want to throw a shout out to all the lap cars because everyone behaved, and I really appreciate them getting out of my way most of the time.
That is Holden McGill getting a win here tonight, race 2 of round 2 at Bristol, and now taking the crown of the most wins so far this season with 4. Congratulations, Holden, and good luck next week at Las Vegas.
Thanks, man. Catch you later.
Well, that comes to our conclusion. Again, thank you to Wesley Allen for joining me into the booth here tonight. But L-TAC Cup Series presented by Tucson Sound Art. They did it again. Another fabulous run here tonight for myself, Sam Dyer, and for Carlos Acosta. Thank you for joining us here tonight on LSRTV. Like Wesley said, our next broadcast is going to be Monday night. It's going to be the American iRacing League. Stafford, the conclusion of the summer fun for that league. And you're going to see both trucks, 2 races for the trucks, 2 races for the super late models. Excitement as that season comes to a conclusion. But here tonight, thank you for joining us. More L-TAC racing next week. We go to Las Vegas. Who's going to get a winning lotto ticket there? Or who is going to be having a poor day trying to set themselves up for Homestead? We're halfway through round 2. The points are going to get a lot more dramatic, more intense, and we can't wait to capture it all. We'll see you all next week.